Boys and girls, to Bannerlord Online tutorial series. And in this episode we're going to talk about Pve quests and what there is to do regarding those aspects. Not that much. So we're picking up our adventures around the Western Empire capital Zeonica, where most people will be hanging around during their first time of play, or more than that. So, except for attacking random NPCs out on the campaign map, there are a few quests in the game. One is when you visit the Tavern. Here you can talk to the thief. He has different quests, but they're not local. They might send you all across the map, so you pay him 100, and sometimes he doesn't have any new rumors or new quests, and well, you just have to wait 5 minutes for that quest to refresh. But then you have the barman. He sells you beer, but beer has no meaning in the mod, since morale for your player armies is not implemented at the moment, so ignore this. But he can give you some work, and he will do that for free 3 times per hour. And it's always a bandit hideout. Oh, here's another player. And it gives you a reward between, I think, 1,000 and up to 2,500 or something. Maybe even more. Can't remember. Anyway, so we agree to deal with this problem. And this is a so-called bandit hideout. Let's check the quest log. Echo of War, that's what it's called. Go to the bandit's hideout near Zeonica. And Zeonica's bandit hideouts are very good because they're so close, and there's only 2 of them. There used to be 3, but 1 was removed. So they're very easy to find. And now remember, once you get in there, it's a bandit hideout, and there's like a dozen or so bandits. And your purpose is to defeat them. You can bring in a certain amount of soldiers. I think it starts with 3, and you can have at the most 6 soldiers from your own army. So you cannot have your entire army. You can have fewer, but you cannot have more. Now let's examine what decides how many troops you can bring with you. If you examine scouting, there's a few different quest expert gives you 1 extra soldier when choosing a mission at skill level 60, and then at quest master at skill level 100 you get another soldier, so that should be 3, 4, 5. And also in tactics at quest skill level 30 you get quest amateur, you get another soldier, so that's +1. And in scouting you have +2, +3, and you start with 3. So that's a maximum of 6. So if you work up on these perks from your skill tree, you can bring more soldiers into these bandit hideouts. So let's do one of these basic hideouts. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in there and throw javelins at them until they die. So it's not gonna be about how you fight. I'm not gonna advise you what troops to bring. All I'm gonna say is that if you bring in top tier troops, like tier 5 or tier 6 noble troops, they won't gain any experience. But if that's what you need to clear them, fine. Obviously bring troops good enough so that you can manage to complete the mission. But yeah, these quests might be a little bit challenging for a new player right at the start, but as you get more soldiers and better skills and better equipment, they shouldn't be that challenging. More a repetitive skill grind. Because these bandit hideouts are the only quests that will give you scouting XP. And scouting is the skill how to scan the wilderness for life. You can follow tracks, spot movement, yada yada. Spot tracks and hideouts. Travel through difficult terrain. Okay, that doesn't work. The only way you learn scouting in the mod is by doing bandit hideouts. And scouting is how far you can see on the campaign map, which might prove very useful if you're about to be attacked by a human player sometime in the future for a player. If that's not your main concern, scouting is worthless, and you might as well quit these hideouts. But if you like to, and scouting and view distance is halved at night. So here's the hideout. The other one is over right here, northeast of Alsasos. So either it's here or here, and that's very close to Sionica. You basically go up here, it's a triangle, you walk around here. So it's very close, it's only 2 locations. So I prefer doing them, it's very good doing them around Sionica. Otherwise you might have up to 4 locations, and they might be in totally opposite directions, so it will take you a long time to locate it unless you're lucky and find it in the first possible location. There is a map online where you can see all possible bandit hideout locations. Also, we have a link to that in our Discord text channel, of course. So just ask me if you need that link. So now we're gonna attack this hideout. Press attack. And then, as you see, I can bring 6 soldiers in. Yeah, and you start at 3, and then you increase it up until 6. So we're just going to pick a couple of archers and a couple of infantrymen for a bit of a mix. So this is not very exciting, but they basically come rushing you from the front, and they're just going to rush you until they kill you or you kill them. That's the extent of the quest. So if you want better advice on how to do this, well, I'm not the person to give it to you. It's just... They're dirty peasants and they go down. That's... Okay. So this is the easiest level. And now I increased my scouting skill by 1 too. So I gained some scouting XP from doing this. I got a bit of money, 784 gold, and I also get a little bit of loot. A spiked club might be worth something if you sell it on the market. Usually you don't get any good loot on this basic bandit hideout level, so that's not why you do these. It's for the scouting XP, it's not for the money. Well, obviously you're gonna gain a little bit of combat athletics and weapon skill XP as well. So the Tavern barman, he gives the basic level of bandit hideouts. There are 3 levels, and there are quest books, of which I own none at the moment, but well, I'll show you in the traders merchant category the Mabons books. They are brown or green. You can find them by defeating looters or by buying them in the merchant. And you open them up by clicking the item, and then there will be a green check mark that you click to activate the quest. And depending on where you are on the map, it will allocate you a hideout to that town. So for example, if it's kind of difficult to explain, but if I go to the village of Drydos up here, and I enable one of these books, it will give me a Mabons quest in Sionica. So it won't give the nearest town. If I open a book from Sionica, it will give me a Mabons quest in Amitatus, and I have to run around Amitatus to do it. So these books are not that efficient to use, but they give you a quest, all right, that they do. And the brown ones are the starter ones. They're called Maybons Notes. They're the cheapest ones. They're the easiest to find. You can find them from basic looters on the map. So let's check those out in the merchant, just so you know how they look like if you find them and if you have one in your inventory after killing looters. And obviously people drop them when they, and get a little bit of profit there. Products on the market, and here we are. Maybons Notes. These brown notes. They currently sell for 1,000 gold, the cheapest. I have seen them below that. I've seen them above that, but I would call 1,000 a pretty average, decent price. Well, it's not a lot of money. And if I buy one of these, I can open up. But the thing is, if you do this, it's exactly the same as doing the barman bandit hideout that you get to do for free, and you know exactly from what town it will start, because the Zeonica barman is gonna give the Zeonica bandit hideout quest, obviously, whereas these can send you a bit all over the map. They used to be even worse. They used to be an entirely random place on all over the entire map. Now at least it will be a nearby town. It might not be this town you're sitting in opening the book. It might be the next town over, so it's not that far away. And when you complete one of these hideouts, you stand a small chance of gaining a next level 2 Mabons book, which is the diaries, the light green diaries here, and they cost around 18,000. Used to be a little bit cheaper. Now this is about average nowadays, 18,000. It's all supply and demand, and here you have a little bit better, harder opposition, and you stand a little bit better chance to find some decent items. And maybe the major thing is you gain twice as much experience points in scouting from doing them, from finishing the mission. And I think that actually killing all the bandits, it doesn't matter if you turn it in at the barman at the end, that only gives you money. The scouting quest XP you actually gain when you clear the bandit hideout and get the loot and kill all the bandits. So in case you don't want to go back and turn in for the little bit of cash you get, you don't have to, because the most important thing is the scouting XP, which you get from just killing the bandits. So the diaries give 600 instead of 300 XP, so it's twice as much. If you do a diary quest, which is harder, and I will soon explain how much harder and what kind of preparation level you need to not be surprised when you do them, you might stand the chance of dropping one of the very rare Mabons revelations. And the revelations nowadays cost around 50,000, but they used to be 70, 80 and even 100,000 before. I think they increased the availability and supply a little bit in a patch recently, so the price has gone down quite substantially. Bad thing if you invested in those, but that's just the way it goes for the mod, because it's under development. And in the Mabons Revelations, you stand a chance of finding very good loot, even though it's a small chance. You can find top tier items like the fine steel Menlavion, and you can also be offered to recruit noble troops. It's not a guarantee, but there's a small option. I have certainly not done a lot of these revelations because they're very hard to find. I'd say you have to do maybe 10 of these diaries to find one of those revelations. That's an estimate. That's my best estimate. I'm sure the game statistics would tell you something else. There is no way to check it in game, like it's a 25% drop chance. You would have to ask other players that has a better grasp of statistics than I do if you want to know. But it's quite easy to get the notes, it's quite easy to get the diaries, but the revelations, they are rarer. And now we have to go back to understand when you can start doing the harder levels of the hideouts. We will have to check scouting, because you start out with a certain preparation level. Don't ask me how much, but when you get advanced reconnaissance here at skill level 30 in scouting, you increase your preparation level by 50. So let's say you start with 100, now you're up to 150. If you get expert reconnaissance at skill level 75, you get another 50. So that will increase by 100. And is it under tactics? Yeah. Here you have basic reconnaissance, increase your preparation by 50. When you have skill level 60, you can open up that perk. So from perks, you can gain 3 perks of 50 preparation each. Maybe I'm forgetting some other. But the thing is, to do the revelations, I think you have to open up all 3 of these perks. Quest Master, Quest Expert, and what the hell is it? Quest Amateur. If you do not have enough preparation level, the quest will warn you, are you sure you want to enter this bandit hideout because your preparation level is not enough? And if you still enter, you will be surprised, which means all the bandits will spawn around you instead of facing you, rushing towards you in one nice straight line, so you can fight them one after another. They will just swarm you from all sides, and unless you're a very good player, high athletics, and can run away, or your group and yourself, you are going to be overwhelmed, especially at the hard levels. So I definitely recommend having enough preparation level to finish the diaries and the revelations. If you haven't done all these things before, if you don't have the perks, I realize it might sound a bit overwhelming, but basically what you do is you start with the brown books, the Maybons Notes, and with the barman free quests. You work your way up through the perks, and then you start finding, buying, or using the higher level of bandit hideouts, and you can increase your XP gain, and with a little bit of chance of finding better loot. I would say it's repetitive, but it's one of the few PV quests and content there is in the mod currently. And scouting is a very potentially useful skill, and it's the only way to gain the XP for that skill. So if you're looking into having a better viewing range on the map, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do a lot of bandit hideouts. So, okay, someone is, if you check the chat here now, want to buy Revelations 45k. So people are actually willing to pay 45,000 gold for one of those books to do one of those quests. Quite valuable. So enough about bandit hideouts and bandit Mabons books. And the second regular RPG quest there is the Bandit Leaders, and then you will have to go to the guard commander. He always stands at the right side of the entrance of the city gate. He will look a little bit different depending on culture, but he will always be here, the guard commander. And he offers to buy troops, but he also offers you to fight a bandit leader. And there are 3 levels of bandit leaders, and different difficulty, different number of bandits in the bandit leader's army. And in this case, he offers me 13,000 gold to defeat leader Emaris. And I know from experience that Emaris, he has 80 soldiers in his army. And not only are they more than the smaller groups, which are 20 and 50 bandits respectively, these are higher tier, harder to defeat bandits. So if I want to earn a 13,000 gold reward, I would have to fight 80 of these soldiers. And let's say I agree to this quest. Now, if I pop out onto the world map, me and only me are going to be able to see a group of 80. Sorry about this. There are some war declarations. None on my clan, fortunately. There's going to be a bandit leader group patrolling around Zeonica, going west and east and west and east. And no one else can see them. Only me as the quest taker. And this is not a group quest. But if I attack it, other players, friends, allies, group members, any random guy on the map, up to 5 people, will be able to join that combat and help you. And I certainly recommend you, if you're going to fight one of the 80 bandit groups, I would recommend you to do it in a group, ask people for help, and go in and fight them with more than one army. Because even if you have a full army, even if you have high quality soldiers, there's a high risk that you will lose quite a few soldiers from fighting an 80 group, unless you're a lot better at playing the game than what I am. And maybe you will lose troops worth more than 13,000 gold. And then why would you do this quest? It looks very juicy and alluring with a 13,000 gold quest reward, but if you take troop losses, excuse me, losses worth of casualties in clearing the quest, there's little reason to do it. You can get XP as well from doing other quests. Now the smaller groups are 20 and 50 soldiers, and then the bandit leader has another name. Starts with an A, it's 20. Starts with a D, can't remember, but it's something D. It's a 50 bandit leader group. So you can, from the money reward and the name of the bandit leader, see how large the group is. And the 20 group is very easy, and the 50 group isn't that hard. If you have 50 of your own or so medium quality soldiers, you should have no problem clearing the 50 group. But the 80 group, well, pay attention to that. That is not beginner quest material. But it could be a fun thing to do, because you have 5 of those bandit leader quests available to you every 12 hours of real time. So if you play an evening, you can accept and finish, or accept and decline, refuse 5 of those bandit leader quests. So if you're a group with 2 players, you can each help each other with 5 bandit leaders and do a lot of, getting quite a lot of money, quite a lot of XP, have a lot of fun. It's a group activity. It's just that you have to find your own bandit leader group, and then your friend will have to join it together with you. And that's about it for group activities. The thief in the tavern, if you are in a group with another player, you walk up to a player, you press F, and you invite them to group, and they accept, and they're in your group. The thief can give a Bandit Oppressor quest, and it works like this. You pay him 100, and he says, do you want to go to this village at night and be surprised by bandits, which is basically looters, and it will give a random village in this culture. It might be quite far away, so it's very random, and then you will have to wait until, in citation marks, I quote, the deep of the night. And I'd say the deep of the night is in the middle, well, it's late, between 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night. So it's not, it doesn't only have to be dark and say night, it has to be a certain time of night. Then you enter, and you will get ambushed by between 10 to 30 to 50 to 80 looters, and you can fight them and finish the quest, and everyone in the group will get the money. So everyone doesn't share, everyone gets the reward. So a larger group, and if you do it as an influence quest, everyone gets the influence as well. I think you don't even have to do the quest, you don't have to be in the village, you just have to clear someone has to do the quest, but everyone gets the reward whether you participate in the quest activity. I think that's a bit bugged, but as far as I know, that's how it works. So the Bandit Oppressor is another group activity. It's the only group quest per se in the game where you must be in a group to do it. Well, you don't have to have everyone in the group participate to do it. You just have to be in a group to get the quest. Then you can do it on your own once you have it. But I am not in a group, so I will never get it from the thief. Also, you have to travel somewhere far away. Also, there might be other thief quests offered, so it's not a guarantee that you get this Bandit Oppressor quest. Also, you might have to time it to a certain time of the day. And yes, it is exactly as complicated as it seems. So I think very few groups actually do these group quests, Bandit Oppressors. And although not bad payout, it's not exceedingly well. You won't get any items. There's no high value item drop potential at all. You'll get a decent stack of money that you could earn 100 times easier from doing other activities. So sure, try it out, test it out, do it for fun once or twice. Do it more if you want to, but it's not the most efficient grinding activity you can do in the game, for sure. So PvE content is limited in the game, but there is PvE content, so it's not a pure PvP game or mod by any means. I think you're supposed to do PvE, so you can develop and afford to do PvP later. So PvE is like the base, the foundation of the mod, and then PvP in different forms will be the end game, what you do when you have developed and you have done your PvE share of activities in the mod. So I hope this gives a little bit better overview of the different quests and PvE activities that you can do in Bannerlord online mod. And I hope you learned something. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.